This is Max with Enlight Automotive. Today what we're going to do is swap over the factory incandescent halogen bulbs on this 2018 Kia Optima over to our Enlight solarflare LED headlight system. The kit's going to come with two anti-flicker CAN bus modules. That way the automatic circuit checking in the vehicle doesn't get triggered. It's also going to come with two bulbs and two driver modules for the bulbs. This solarflare kit's really nice. These bulbs, they have a full copper center core for a high heat transfer rate from the LED emitters through to the aluminum finned heatsink. It also has an integrated fan, a fan shroud, and it's got 12 Philips Lumileds ZES emitters. These are not knockoff emitters, these are genuine Lumileds emitters from Philips. Each bulb is going to produce about 2400 lumens of light, and the factory 9005 bulbs in this particular Optima are going to produce right around 1800. So you're going to get a nice boost in light output around 50%. Now, because we want to replace the 9005 bulbs in here, the red O-ring on here, we're going to switch over to the black O-rings, which are going to come with the kit. So the red O-rings work with 9006 sockets, and the black O-rings are for 9005. So we're going to swap those out by just taking this off and changing it. Once you've got the O-rings swapped out, this is what it should look like when it's done. So let's start off by pulling the hood latch inside the vehicle. Now on the Optima, just to the right side of the badge, there's a lever in here that you're going to push towards the center of the hood. Lift up, and we'll start the installation from here. So let's start on the driver's side. If you come around to the back of the headlight, you're going to see that there's a headlight cap, and all you need to do is twist this counterclockwise, just like you're loosening a bolt. And once you turn it about 90 degrees, you'll see that you can pop it off, and this will expose the headlight bulb. Now that we're looking inside the headlight cap, you can see this is the low beam bulb. This particular video, what we're going to do is we're going to change the low beam bulb, but the process for changing the low beam and the high beam is exactly the same. So what we want to do is, first we want to pull this tab towards the rear of the vehicle and then push down, and you can take the clip or the plug off the bulb, and then you need to rotate the bulb counterclockwise. This can be a little stiff sometimes, and once you get it counterclockwise, just pull it out. Now we just need to set up the driver module, the CAN bus unit, and the bulb connections. It's very simple. So go ahead and grab one of the CAN bus modules. This end we're going to plug into the factory headlight socket. The other end will connect to the driver module, like this. And the only other connector here goes between the driver module and the bulb. All these connections only go in one way, so that's all you really have to worry about. Now, if you do notice that maybe you'll see that the red and black wires are flipped in order to have the locking tab secure on this connection here, don't worry about it, because this driver module is not sensitive to polarity, so it doesn't matter what way the wires are on this connection. Now, in order to fit everything here inside the headlight housing, first what we need to do is make this connection between the factory headlight plug, which is this guy right here, and the CAN bus module. Then you're going to insert the CAN bus module to the bottom of the headlight housing. It's a little bit difficult to show on camera, but if I move this guy, you can see that there's a green circuit board down there, and below the headlight socket, there's enough room to place the CAN bus module, so we're going to put that in first. Then we're going to place the driver module in on the bottom, or on the, in this image, on the left side of the headlight socket. And then what we'll do is we'll put the bulb in. Now, the polarity of this particular connection is important between the factory headlight plug and the LED CAN bus module. Now, on this particular vehicle, we've determined that the black and green wire need to line up with the red wire and not the black wire. So in order to change that, all we need to do is flip the connector around 180 degrees and then plug it back in. Now you're going to notice that the locking tab doesn't line up with the locking mechanism on the opposite side. Don't worry about this. Once you get this inside the headlight housing, get the cap closed, it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to move around, nor will it come loose. Here in this image you can kind of see what I've got going on. So I just put both the driver module and the CAN bus module on the bottom of the headlight socket. Now when you're putting the bulb in, you want to make sure that the vents for the heatsink are on the top side and that the fan is on the bottom side once it's fully locked in place. So when you insert it, it's just the reverse of taking the bulb out. So it goes in at about a 45-degree angle, and then you twist it clockwise to lock it in place. Once you get everything tucked away, take your headlight cap and just reverse the process that we use to remove it, and all you need to do is twist it until you get the tabs inside to line up and turn it clockwise to lock it in place, and that completes the driver's side. Now at this point, go ahead and start the vehicle and you can turn the lights on, and here you see that there's no error message. If you just put a standard bulb in without the anti-flicker modules, in this particular vehicle will give you an error message, but now that we have the CAN bus module installed, there's no error messages when the lights are on. You can see that the light is on, and you get a really nice match between the factory daytime running lights and the headlight bulb now. And if you compare that to the standard incandescent bulbs that we haven't changed yet, you can see it's a very big color difference. Moving on to the passenger side of the vehicle, the process for swapping the bulb is going to be exactly the same. However, in order to give us a little bit more room to work, we're going to move this coolant reservoir out of the way temporarily. And the way you do that is you take a 10mm socket and take out 1 and 2 screws. Now the process is exactly the same for the passenger side at this point as the driver's side. I'm not going to go over all the same steps, but just to show you, remove the bulb the same as we did last time. Insert the ballast and the CAN bus module underneath the bulb, and then put the new LED bulb in its place. So I've already got the LED bulb in here. Do remember that if you plug everything in and the bulb doesn't light up, take that power connector that plugs into the factory headlight plug and flip it around 180 degrees. And once you get to this point, just put your coolant reservoir back where it belongs, line up the holes, and then reinsert your 2 screws. So as long as you're here, I want to talk about the high beams as well. You can order an identical kit for this vehicle, the same kit that we sell for the low beams, you can also use for the high beams. So you can order 2 kits that are both 9005 LEDs. Now the only difference with the installation on the high beams is that you're going to have to adjust the angle of the LED bulb. So here you see that the factory low beam bulb sits at a 45-degree angle versus the low beam bulb sits at a vertical 90-degree angle. So let me go show you the LED bulb and how you can change that. Each kit is going to come with an Allen wrench. Now this Allen wrench can be used to loosen a set screw which is located on the bottom side of the LED bulb. Now all of the bulbs are going to ship in a vertical or straight orientation. However, for the high beams, all you need to do is loosen this set screw. Don't take it all the way out, just loosen it a few turns, and that will unlock the position of the socket. Now what we want to do is rotate it 45 degrees, and in this case it should be lined up right about with this notch in the housing here. And once you rotate it, tighten the set screw back down. Don't over tighten it, just finger tight. And now when we insert the bulb, it's going to be putting the position of the LED emitters in the horizontal position. What I mean by that is here in the high beam housing, you want the LED emitters, let's see if we get a better focus. You want the LED emitters shooting to the left side and to the right side. You don't want them shooting up or down or angled or anything. You want to make sure one face is directly horizontal to the left and one directly horizontal to the right. That's how we want to orient the socket. Here you can see I've installed the bulb and the ballast inside the high beam side of the housing. And again, once everything is in the correct orientation, you should have the vent for the heatsink on the top and the fan on the bottom. And you'll also find that the LED emitters are in the horizontal orientation that we talked about earlier. And just make sure that you put the housing cap back on and tighten it up. Here we've got both low beams installed and on now. You can see it's a beautiful crystal white light with a very, very nice match to the factory running lights. Whenever you install an aftermarket headlight system, it's always nice to make sure that you have a good beam pattern. So here we've got the LED bulbs on, and you can see that you get a nice sharp cutoff all the way across the beam pattern, and it's very level. And here, just to show you the high beams, I left one stock bulb in and one LED bulb in. And there you could see the difference. You can see that there's much more light on the LED side compared to the halogen side. Also, just a quick note, the camera is making the bulbs look a little bit blue in the image. However, in real life, it's actually a very clean white color. If you'd like to purchase this kit, please go to www.enlightauto.com and go to the Browse by Vehicle section, or just click on the link in the description below. Thanks for watching.